Heidi ho and welcome to Teen Tuesday. My name is Natalia and I am the young adult specialist here at the Plymouth Library. So today I'd like to talk about 5 standalones that you can get from the Young Adult Library. Last time I talked about 5 bingeable book series, and that one was a lot of fun to do. So I wanted to do a standalone one. Because sometimes it's hard to find, especially fantasy standalones, but it's sometimes hard to find standalone series or standalone books, books that are just on their own with one self-contained story in the young adult section. Sometimes you don't want to get into a book series to start. So, without further ado, let's get on to the books. So today, first, I'd like to talk about a book I have not read yet, but it's been recommended to me 1.5 million times by many people that I trust. And that is The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. This is by Leslie Walton. And this book is about a girl, Ava Lavender, who has wings on her back, and her family is kind of cursed. It's like a love curse. I'm not sure exactly how the love curse is, but I hear just how beautifully written this is, how heartbreaking this is, and I'm surprised I haven't picked it up because there are times where I love reading heartbreaking books that make me feel very deep emotions. And it's about family as well, and family history and generations of people who lived in the past. So this one, if it's something that sounds like in your alley, that if you like a little bit of magic, but not like a full-on magical world, because this is considered magical realism, where it's our world, but a little bit magic sprinkled here and there, this is definitely something that would be up to you. And it's a short one. It is just under 300 pages. I mean, I consider this kind of a short one. So anyways, please pick this one up. The next one is one of my favorite books that I read at the beginning of the year. And I actually, when I first saw it come onto the bookshelf, I was just like, oh, I want to read this book so badly, and I was not disappointed whatsoever. And that is The Lovely War, or just Lovely War, by Julie Berry. This is a story that's told by many Greek gods about these 4 people during World War I. And you follow their story, and it's Aphrodite telling the story, because basically she's on trial for for her deeds that she does. If you know Greek mythology, Aphrodite did sometimes hook up with Ares, and this is kind of like her trial about why it's hard to be the goddess of love. And it is just such a beautiful story. I liked the audiobook a lot because it actually has music from the time mixed into it, and the way that the way that it's told, where it's mostly told in Aphrodite's point of view, but you also get the view of Ares, and you get the view of other Greek gods, who I'm not going to say because that's kind of a spoiler, and I tried really hard not to spoil things for people. And this one, the way that each god or goddess tells the story is beautiful. And the 4 people are Hazel, James, Aubrey, and Colette, and they 2 of them are British, 1 is an American, and 1 is from, not Berlin, Belgium, from Belgium. And it's really interesting to read about this book, and it really made me think about how close, for especially Europe, the wars were for them, and how hard it was probably for when World War II showed up, because World War I takes place in like 1914, something like that. But anyways, I highly recommend this. If you don't read anything else in this pile, I mean, there's another really big favorite of mine that I want you all to read, but if you don't read any of them, read this one. I think this one could really interest a lot of people. So, Lovely War by Julie Berry. Gotta read it. The next one is one I recently finished, and it's Nadine Brandis's Romanov, which this is a historical fiction fantasy story where about the Romanovs and their what happens to them after they are dethroned by the Bolsheviks. And this is the point of view of Anastasia, whose name is not Nastia. Oh, it is Nastia. Yes, it's Nastia. And she is, she's living with her family in exile, living in exile with her family. And she is that isn't very talented, but she does do a little magic with spell ink. And in this world, that's why the Romanovs were kicked off the throne, because the Bolsheviks wanted to make magic illegal and spell ink illegal. And I really, really like the realness of this book and the magic in this book. You don't get a lot of the magic, so this is another good one if you like a little bit of magic, but not like it to be like an epic fantasy. This is another good one for you. And it just shows like what if, like even without the magic, if this really happened to the Romanov family, would it it's really great because this could have happened to the Romanov family minus the magic that's in it. So this one is great. This one is probably the shortest one I'm recommending at like, oh, maybe not. Never mind. It looks shorter. Doesn't it look shorter? Like, I don't know. That's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy how some books look longer than others and others look shorter than others. Oh well. But anyways, read Romanov. It's great. And there is a little bit of romance in here. So if you're into that, check it out. Next is another one of my top favorite books of all time, and that is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zapata. This is about a girl named Eliza who has a very popular web series online, a comic book series. Sorry, she creates comic books online, and she is totally she is known under her pseudonym, which I forget what it's called, her Lady Constellation, but no one knows who she really is. And she likes it that way because she gets a little shy around people and she has some anxiety, and she just likes creating these comics online and hearing that people like them, but doesn't necessarily need to have the spotlight. Then she meets the #1 fanfic writer of her comic books, and he actually is transferred into her school. And then, so it's her trying to deal with the knowledge that she knows that this guy who just came into her school is the #1 fanfic of her webcomic series, and trying to like keep it a secret and hoping that he doesn't find out who she is. But it just turns into this beautiful story. This totally spoke to the high school Natalia. There's a lot of things that I was like, I really related to, especially looking back in my high school life, which has been a while. But it just made me think, man, yeah, high school's rough and there's a lot of things going on, and it just was great to kind of reminded that we're not alone in that. So, and this even actually, another great thing about this, it does have little clips or glimpses of the webcomic in the series. So like it has these illustrated pictures with like a little bit of the book in it. So this one is so good. You gotta read that one. And then the last book I'd like to talk about is one I have not read yet, but it is a historical fiction of an author I've read her work before, and that is Salt of the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. And this is a World War II story, but it talks about this little known tragedy of this boat called Wilhelm Gustloff. Yep. So it's about these 4 or 5 people. I can't remember how many points of view there are, and they're all aboard this ship that the sinking of it was worse than the Titanic, from what I hear. And she is just a wonderful author who talks about different parts of history that not many people know about, or it's very little known facts. And I like her writing. It's very simple, but yet informative and powerful. And you gotta read this book. I mean, come on. If you like historical fiction, read everything by Rita Sepetys. Really, anything by her is excellent. So there we go. Those are the 5 standalone books I highly recommend that you read this summer. And make sure that you sign up for our summer reading program. We actually have a summer reading program that's a lot of fun. I will link the video that we made announcing the program and what it all entails, how we're moving Antoinette the cow figuratively across Plymouth. So that will be down in the link below. So until next time, I will see you maybe at the library, hopefully. Come on in, say hi to me. I'd like to meet you. So yeah, come in and say hi. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the comments. Bye.